everybody, and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Zomboid. And this week is the exciting announcement of 0008 or 0008 or 008, whatever, version 8. Doesn't really matter. And what was relatively scarce in information last week is more than made up for this week. And as always, I highly suggest you go check out the blog yourself, because this week we have a beautiful little video for you to go check out. But without further ado, let's get through it. Let's talk about what is exactly being announced here, what bugs they may have worked across, and more importantly, what I think of the update. So, we're going to be talking right away about the first big bug. Now, last week I talked about, or could have been the week before, they were talking about a big memory bug that was seen mostly in 32-bit systems, where memory would kind of blow up to like a 2 gig version of the game, and then the game would promptly crash because it was using 2 gigs of memory. Well, luckily, they fixed it for whatever, they figured out what the reason was, and now it looks like the most memory that'll be being used on 32-bit systems will be a maximum of 800 megs, which is a huge decrease to the 32-bit version of the game. Now, they are looking to drop that to 600 megs, but they said that even though 800 megs might be a bit much for 1 gig systems, it still runs, and it still runs pretty well, though again, constant optimization and constant tweaks and improvements on the game are always going to be within their scope, within their vision. And so going down to 600 megs memory usage is what they're looking to get it out. And that's good, because it's exciting to see that happen to the game, where they're working out some of the bugs that are preventing some people from playing. So good to see that being taken care of. Other annoyances they're talking about, one that I've been running into more prominently in my playthrough is the alarm on load up. So, I go and log out in my safe house, and then I load up the game, and an alarm goes off. It seems that has been taken care of in 008, so no longer do I have to worry about the alarm going off when I load up, and the entirety of Muldrow coming down on my position to chomp on my left toe. So that's good to be glad to be taken care of. Other vital fixes, of which they have a list that we could go through. Let me take a look at the list here. If I want to pop this sucker open, let's take a look. We've got a big list. Let's see if there's anything that we have mostly need to talk about. So some rebalancing between food and thirst to be much quicker, but readjusted levels so peckish, etc. happens. So basically, getting thirsty and getting hungry happens much quicker in the game, but you're going to be sitting at the lower tier of peckish and mildly thirsty for a lot longer period of time, which I like. Right now there's a bug in 007. I'm not quite sure if it's taken care of here, but where I don't get hungry anymore. Though I think it's probably taken care of in 008. There's a crash that's taken care of when you chop down screens. Let's see. Now use the real color, character creation. A lot of little minor things. Let's see. Add aiming XP when you fire a ranged weapon. Okay, so some of the other XP stuff to level up is being added to the game. As you all know, as I've experimented, certain things are not level upable in 0007, but that is going to be fixed. Fixed carpentry stuff. Fix a bug skill panel tooltip. Fixed you can't climb through barricaded windows. That is huge right there. That is good. That is a vital fix, one that could be potentially game breaking. So with that, there's a lot of good stuff that has been wonderful. Alarms on buildings now saved with world. So yeah, so a lot of big fixes here. A lot of what I could potentially consider mostly game breaking, or at least experience breaking. Maybe might not break the game, but might break your immersion or your experience that you're having with the game, such as the alarm bug, or such as being able to climb through barricades. So glad that's taken care of. But here's the most important part, and the part that you're probably all looking forward to, the biggest part of this particular announcement. So 008 comes with 2 very large announcements, the first of which adds gamepad controls, more particularly joypad. That you do use the Xbox 360 controller prompts, of X, A, Y, but any dual stick gamepad that you use joypad for. Joypad, by the way, is a third-party program that allows you to map buttons to the actual gamepad itself. But that has been added to the game, and it looks really good. I highly suggest you go watch this video. But the most important announcement comes in the announcement of local multiplayer. So, if you didn't know already, and I already knew this was in the works, being part of closed testing, etc., but I didn't think they were going to be releasing it this early, but it's good to see that they have. With 008 comes local multiplayer. Now, of course, local multiplayer means split screen. You're looking at split screen multiplayer only, not online at all, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But with that, you have to understand there's going to be some bugs, such things such as like moodles, only kind of appear on one player screen. When you open up inventory, it seems to only appear on the player one screen. So little annoyances that are going to be worked out over time are going to be in the local multiplayer update. But it is still very playable. You can hook up with your friend, maybe if you have a TV as your monitor, like I did for many years, being able to play Project Zomboid multiplayer is going to be pretty awesome. Now, the only restraint is that it actually uses the gamepad, so you need to have the gamepad at the ready to actually play this. So what does this mean? Well, it's a step, right? It's a step towards multiplayer. Now, one of the things they talk about below is, why didn't you just go for online? Why didn't you just go for that? Well, first of all, they say they don't do it because it's they don't want to go directly on online, because with online multiplayer means a huge amount of complications. Servers, lag, just a net code that they need to work on. Lots and lots and lots of stuff that actually needs to be focused and worked on before they release it. So people may be bugging, but a lot of people don't understand what kind of work is involved, especially for a small indie team. What kind of work is involved in getting a multiplayer up and running. But my personal opinion on it is I'm glad to see local split-screen multiplayer in right now, but I don't want their attentions diverted from the single player when the single player still needs so much work. Don't get me wrong, the single player is obviously quite playable, and they themselves have said that this split-screen multiplayer has maybe taken them a total of 5 hours worth of work over the past 2 weeks, which is a drop in the hat. It's nothing. So that's cool. I'm totally okay with it, but I don't want to see the developers go towards the online multiplayer yet. I don't think the game is in a position where it's, rich enough in quality and quantity to get up to that multiplayer online standard. And I think the developers are not stupid. They know this, and they have said time and time and time again that they want to make sure the single player is first and foremost playable and feature complete before they worry about putting this up, working on the online multiplayer route. So I'd like to see them finish the single player first. And like I said, they've even said it themselves, that they need, that they need to focus on the single player aspect of the game first before they work online, because the online is going to take so much of their time and so much of their efforts that it will obviously pull their attention away from the single player aspect of the game. So that's why you're not getting multiplayer, and I'm 120,000% okay with that, and I hope you are as well. Other things, they're just answering some frequently asked questions, such as, why were you working on this when you could have been blah, blah, blah. Basically, why divert time to this when you could have been diverting time to other things? And like I said, they've only spent a few hours on it. Again, something that they've worked on, that they have been working on. And another thing is like, well, what about NPCs? What about metagame? Don't worry. They have said themselves that metagame is coming. So what is the multiplayer going to mean? In my personal opinion, what does a multiplayer mean? To me, it doesn't mean much. I'm not the kind of guy who will have a bunch of friends over and, play games with me anymore. It's just, I'm at that point in my life where I am not readily accessible to drop by a friend's house as easy as it used to be for me. It's just not. So it doesn't mean much to me personally, but I do think that it's a neat little addition that people can have some fun with, though not vital to the game. I just don't think it's all that vital to the game. I don't think it's gonna add or detract that much to the game outside of maybe you younger guys who have the ability to have your friends come over every day or every other day, and maybe playing it would be a ton of fun with other people. But until the online version comes out, I don't see myself playing around with it all that much, though I think it's a really cool and neat addition. I don't think it's going to make or break the game. I don't think it's going to have that huge of an impact on the game, though I do think it's really awesome that it's there. I think it's a cool feature to have as part of the game. For me, I just want to see more of the game fixes and more additions to the game, which obviously they've been putting a lot of work into, and a lot of the bugs have been fixed in 008. Don't think I'm knocking the developers at all. It's just for me as a personal player, it doesn't mean much. And that's really it for this blog. A nice chunk, lot of bug fixes. Again, go watch the video of them kind of experimenting and playing around with the multiplayer. It's definitely really cool to watch. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know I have. If you're one of those once-a-weekers, I will see you next Monday or Tuesday, depending on when I get the video up. If you're a regular, I shall see you later today or tomorrow. And I hope to see you guys all very, very, very soon. Thanks for swinging by, and I'll see you later.